Right now, the world faces a serious energy trap. We burn fossil fuels that choke the air, or we rely on standard nuclear power plants that leave behind toxic waste that remains dangerously radioactive for up to 10,000 years. To make matters worse, traditional nuclear plants run on uranium. It is a rare element, and the global supply is tightly controlled by a small handful of powerful nations. But there is another option. Named after Thor, the Norse god of thunder, thorium is a naturally occurring black mineral. It holds the potential to provide clean, continuous power for thousands of years. And here is the geopolitical trump card. India sits on the largest natural reserves of thorium in the entire world, which leads to an obvious question. If we have mountains of this clean, abundant fuel sitting right under our feet, why isn't thorium already powering every home and city in India? To understand the delay, we have to look at the physics. Let's compare uranium and thorium to two very different vehicles on a track. Uranium is what physicists call fissile. In simple terms, it can start its own chain reaction. You turn the key, the engine starts, and the car drives itself forward. Thorium is different. It is fertile. Think of it as a beautiful, high-performance supercar built completely without a starter motor. It holds immense potential energy, but it will sit perfectly still until something else gives it a massive push to get the engine running. So the hurdle to clean electricity isn't finding the fuel. The real challenge is engineering that perfect, massive push to force the thorium engine to start. Long before modern climate concerns, a visionary scientist named Dr. Homi J. Bhabha saw this exact problem. He realized early on that India could not rely on Western powers for its energy future. Dr. Bhabha looked at the resources available. Since the country lacked meaningful uranium deposits but had beaches full of thorium, copying Western nuclear reactors simply wouldn't work. They had to invent an entirely new path. The first major step toward that independence took place with the creation of Apsara, India's very first nuclear research reactor. It was here that Bhabha laid out a masterstroke. He designed the three-stage nuclear program, a sequential engineering blueprint created specifically to solve that complex push-start problem. Dr. Bhabha developed this three-stage plan as a concrete, step-by-step roadmap to achieve permanent national energy independence. Here is how the diagram works. Stage 1 involves building a traditional uranium reactor, but you don't build it for the electricity. You build it to create a specific radioactive byproduct called plutonium. In our car analogy, this plutonium is the pushcart. Now we move to Stage 2. You take that newly created plutonium and use it to relentlessly bombard raw thorium. This physical collision transforms the thorium into a brand new, self-starting fuel called uranium-233. This is the push. Finally, in Stage 3, that newly transformed uranium-233 sparks the final chain reaction. It generates massive, continuous energy. The supercar is finally driving itself. This system comes with a massive safety advantage. Standard uranium reactors can suffer catastrophic meltdowns if they overheat, but the physics of a thorium reactor dictate that if temperatures rise too high, the reaction naturally slows down and chokes itself out. And the environmental benefits are equally impressive. The waste from a thorium cycle neutralizes in just 300 to 500 years. That heavily outperforms the 10,000-year toxic legacy left behind by standard uranium. Successfully completing this three-step cycle provides a safe, long-term loop of clean energy. But developing independent, limitless electricity carried a serious risk. It directly threatened the global monopoly held by the Western nuclear powers of the time. Geopolitical tensions reached a boiling point when Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri authorized preparations for an underground nuclear test to counter regional threats. Shortly after, Dr. Bhabha made a public announcement that India had the rapid capability to test a nuclear device. Intelligence agencies around the world immediately went on high alert. What followed is heavily debated to this day. Prime Minister Shastri died suddenly under mysterious circumstances in Tashkent. Just 2 weeks later, Dr. Bhabha perished when his commercial flight crashed in the Alps. And this was not an isolated tragedy. Over the following decades, multiple key Indian scientists working specifically on the thorium cycle died or vanished without explanation. The loss of these leaders stalled the realization of the thorium dream for decades. While the science was sound, the program struggled to maintain its momentum after these unresolved tragedies removed its primary architects. Despite those tragic losses and decades of frustrating delays, the three-stage program was never abandoned. Today, engineers are closer than ever to finally firing that engine. The immediate real-world applications are enormous. For instance, compact thorium reactors could power Indian Navy submarines, allowing them to run deep underwater for 15 straight years without ever needing to refuel. We can even look to space. The safety profile of thorium makes it ideal for future ISRO missions, where compact reactors could provide vital heat and electricity to outposts on the dark, freezing side of the moon. Mastering the thorium push start provides exactly what Dr. Bhabha envisioned all those years ago. It gives the country clean domestic electricity while offering a blueprint to shift the balance of global power from west to east.
I hope you enjoyed this deep dive. If you want to keep exploring history with us, make sure to subscribe to Ask the Timeline and turn on notifications. Every like helps this channel grow